Hi, my name is Benjamin Katz, and welcome back to another episode of the 48 State Ice Cream Review, where today I'm at Sea Island Eatery in Beaufort, South Carolina, trying the two flavors, apple pie and honey almond. Now, I will say I got toppings for this specific ice cream shop because they were kind enough to give me a tour of their facility and show me how the ice cream got made. I am, of course, inquiring more about how ice cream shops operate as part of my desire to open up one for myself. And the person scooping the ice cream told me that they always like their ice cream with whipped cream and caramel. So I thought, may as well try it the way the employee likes to serve it. So I believe we're starting with the apple pie. So while I was given preferential treatment in terms of being shown the shop itself, I must be impartial when it comes to ice cream review. And this is a very icy ice cream. The grain size of the ice is larger than usual. It doesn't melt on the tongue as easily. And we are getting sort of like sheets of ice that cleave as you chew on it. The flavor is a subtle apple pie. There is, of course, the sweet cinnamon aesthetic to it all. But you're also being treated to large chunks of apple. And these chunks of apple have not been candied, nor has the water been removed from them. So when you bite down in the apple, you are chewing on essentially an apple ice cube. I'm not the biggest fan of chewing on ice, so I don't know if I would get the apple pie again. And I must say, the employee got it right. Having caramel and whipped cream on an apple pie flavor works really well because it feels more like an apple pie. Because you don't just eat an apple pie by itself. You put ice cream on the apple pie, you put whipped cream on the apple pie, some people put fudge, some people put caramel sauce. But the additions of the toppings really do elevate the experience, which is different from my usual experience on toppings, which is that they more distract or are off-putting to the original flavors. Alright, now it's time to move on to the honey almond. Both flavors are a pure white color, which I've made the mistake of doing before, and I'll make the mistake of doing again. So it's hard to tell which flavor this is exactly, but I'm pretty sure this is the honey almond. And that is pretty much exactly how it's advertised. The honey ice cream base has some thinly sliced almonds throughout. Almonds providing a good textural contrast to the ice cream, and the honey flavoring being more floral, having more subtle notes than a standard cream. I like this flavor a bit more than the apple pie though. Maybe because it's a bit less icy. Either way though, both these flavors do have a bit of that larger ice crystal density than I would like. Now, to anyone who watched my Southern Sweets review, you'll note that I treated it somewhat harshly in terms of it selling manufactured flavors. And I mentioned that there was another ice cream shop right across the bridge that does homemade ice cream. And this is actually now the shop that I was recommended to from Southern Sweets. And when speaking to the owner of Sea Island Eatery, I learned that actually she owns Sea Island Eatery and the other shop that I was just at. And I asked her, hey, why are you not, serving homemade ice cream in the other place? And she gave me the exact same answer that the ladies behind the counter did, which is that there's just not the ability to maintain supply for both ice cream shops, as the other shop gets a bit more foot traffic. We also had some lovely conversations about serving local ingredients, maintaining a customer base, appealing to people who can't eat nuts and who can't eat gluten, and maintaining separate workspaces for those as well and separate machines. And honestly, I think the biggest part of insight that I got was, instead of trying to build an ice cream shop from scratch, buy an existing ice cream shop where the owner doesn't want to do it anymore, and they'll already have the equipment that I need. Because I learned today that an industrial ice cream maker costs $50,000. What? Oh my, it's a tube. It's a tube that gets cold. $50,000? I am going to either need more seed funding, or I am going to need to reevaluate my secondhand purchasing decisions. I mean, regardless of all of the stuff I learned today, I am still going to want to try to buy secondhand buy, cheaper products that are several generations behind so that I'm able to maintain quality while not sacrificing price. It's going to be a really tough balancing game that I'm really excited to learn more about as I continue exploring America. So here are my closing thoughts. Sea Island Eatery is providing a service to the local population by offering fresh homemade ice cream with creative and interesting ideas. While the texture falls a bit behind the mark and the mix-ins can be a bit disruptive on the palate, the flavors are creative and exciting, and the ownership is super chill. If you're passing by Beaufort, South Carolina, it may be difficult to cross the bridge, but if you do, absolutely come to Sea Island Eatery because they're local, fresh, and homemade, and all they want to do is serve you up a good scoop of ice cream. If you like this video and want to see more like it, consider subscribing, or go to findfiltermarketing.com for more on the journey. Thank you.